All right, if you guys can't tell from my crazy appearance, it is a Mask Monday. So there is a change of scenery behind me. My mom actually went away for the weekend and she asked me to house sit. She has two dogs, two cats, and my elderly grandmother lives below her and she can't really like be alone too much. So I'm over here at her house. She has a Disney snow globe collection behind me, as you guys can see. So don't mind it. I actually did not. did pack the masks and I brought my notebook with questions prepared to film, but I didn't bring my tripod. I don't know what I was thinking, but I have some natural light next to a window. But I wanted to do the questions from last week Mask Monday video I saw with Charmaine and Erica. It was 20 questions and I really liked the questions, so I thought that I would just do them this week. So I will definitely link Charmaine and Erica's video down below. Definitely go check them out. But the first question is, what TV shows are you into? And I am obsessed with older TV shows. I consider them classics. I love like The Golden Girls. I cried so hard when Betty White died. I love like Three's Company, Who's the Boss, and you know, some newer shows but still older like Gilmore Girls is an obsession of mine. You know, like One Tree Hill. For more, and I loved Veronica Mars too. For newer shows, This Is Us, it just ended, but I love This Is Us. I love A Million Little Things. Good Doctor. Those are like the more recent shows I watch. But yeah, that's TV shows I'm into. If you guys want to answer any of these questions down below, do so in the comments. Number 2 is, what is the best concert I've ever been to? So I've only ever been to 3 concerts in my life. I am not a big concert person. I know some people love that. Charmaine said she had been to over 30 in 1 year, and I was like, wow. I'm actually not a big like music person. I know that's crazy to most people because most people love music, but in my free time I have a book on the side of me. Literally just finished this one today. I will be linking a review to this in my Instagram. I was linking it down below if you guys want to check it out. Or I listen to podcasts. So I literally only go to concerts when I'm usually dragged to go to them. The first one I ever went to was Nick Jonas when he first left the Jonas Brothers. He didn't even have a lot of his own music yet. He did a lot of what was of covers of other bands, and I had a best friend who was obsessed with the Jonas Brothers and was dying to go see him, and it was cheap because it was just him for his first time. I went and I enjoyed it. I remember he sang Fireflies by Owl City, and I love that song. The second concert I went to was LMFAO, again for this same friend. It was what he wanted to do for his 21st birthday. We did it at a casino in Connecticut. If you guys know him from Mass, it was Mohegan Sun, and that was really fun. The most recent concert I went to, and it wasn't even that recent because it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, I would say was my favorite one. It was one I actually chose to go to, where, like I said, the other two I was kind of more dragged, and it was the Backstreet Boys. I was obsessed with the Backstreet Boys in the 90s. I will say I did really like music back then. I loved Backstreet Boys. I loved NSYNC. I loved the Spice Girls. I was into the whole band era. And that was definitely the best concert I've ever been to. Not that I want to go to concerts again. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, Lady Gaga or Adele or Beyonce or Billie Eilish. I do listen to music. It's just not something I would spend a lot of money on. So unless the tickets are cheap, there's other things I'd rather spend my money on. Number 3, what quirks do I have? If you guys watch my videos, you guys know this. I say all the time how I bite my fingernails. I am just a generally anxious and nervous person in general, and it is definitely one of my worst habits. I've had this habit since I was a child. My mom literally has pictures of me as a toddler with my fingers in my mouth. So I guess I've been anxious since I was a kid. I used to also like have, I used to sleepwalk when I was little too, which used to like kind of really freak out my mom. But yeah, my quirk is probably definitely biting my fingernails. And I can be a little socially awkward. You know, if it's not people I know, like obviously with my friends, I'm totally comfortable. But like when I'm in a big group setting, you know, like let's say like Joe's family parties, I am very close to them and I'm usually do really well around them. But you know, like there are times where I tend to just like be on my phone and it probably looks really rude, but I can't help it. We went to a barbecue on Father's Day that Joe's stepdad kind of threw, but it was like not just the family. He had like everyone from his job there too. And I had my head glued to a book, and one of his coworkers was like, oh, it must be a really good book. And I don't know if he was just trying to be like, girl, get off your book in like a non-rude way, but I couldn't help myself, you know. And just like I said, I'm just a generally anxious person, and I don't do well with crowds, and it's either like be on my phone, be my head in a book, or chew my fingernails. And I'm trying not to chew my fingernails, you know? Number 4, celebrity crush. Oh, I have a thing for Ryan Reynolds, 100,000%. He is gorgeous. He is so funny. I even follow his tweets on Twitter. He's constantly posting about his kids and Blake Lively. So, you know, a lot of times when you watch actors, you can kind of get an idea of their personality, but sometimes you wonder, oh, is that the character and not them? But when you read Ryan Reynolds' tweets, you can genuinely see that he is a funny, nice person, that it's not just a persona. And I find him so incredibly attractive. Number 5, I also really, really loved Ashton Kutcher. I still love him, but I don't know, he's just not as like common now, but back in the day he was everywhere and I loved him. I remember when I read an article once when he was marrying Demi Moore, and it was saying how his stepdaughter had a poster of him on her wall, and how it was kind of weird because Demi Moore is a lot older than him, so he was actually closer age to his stepdaughter. And I was like, that would be me too. Like, all of a sudden he's your stepdaddy, but you're like secretly in love with him. That's weird. But yes, I used to love Ashton Kutcher. Number 5, inside joke with family or friends. I actually thought about this one when I wrote it down, and we really don't have one other than, I guess, like my grandmother. Not that sounds so mean to say it's an inside joke, but you know, she's suffering from dementia. We all take turns in caring for her, between my mom, my godmother, who's my mom's sister, me, my 2 cousins. So sometimes, you know, that's our main topic of conversation most times when we text and call and FaceTime. It's to fill each other in on how my grandmother's doing. And sometimes we will tease about her memory loss, like, oh, she asked this question 5 times today. And it's trust me, it's not us like making fun of her. I think we're just trying to make light of a very heavy situation, because we know as the years progress, it's only going to get worse. I think all the time, like how one day she may not remember my name. Oh, getting a little emotional. Me and my godmother were talking the other day, and I look a lot like my mom. My mom posted her wedding photo the other day because her anniversary just passed. She's been married for 33 years. And I said, there's probably going to be a day where she thinks I'm my mom. She's probably going to call me Maria. So we joke about that to make light of this situation. Number 6, dream car. Guys, I do not have a dream car. If you guys watch this channel, you know I did not get my license until I was 26. I hate driving. I absolutely dread it. I literally only drive to and from work majority of the time, or if I have some errands to run. Other than that, Joe is my driver, which he's not a big fan of, but you know, I took big strides because there was many years of my life where I thought I would never touch a car. So I'm getting better, and I'm hoping as the years pass, maybe I'll be more comfortable. But as of right now, I hate driving and anything to do with it. So I hate cars. Like, I'm not someone who's like, oh my God, I need to have, you know, my brother's like a huge Volkswagen person. He has a Volkswagen, even has the VW tat on his arm, or is it his leg? I don't even remember anymore. But I do not care about the make and model. I drive a car. For me is to get to point A to point B. I can give a shit what color it is, what it looks like. My thing with a car is it good on gas? And is it good in snow? Because it snows bad here in the winter, and that's about it. Curious what your dream cars are, because I know there are a lot of people that you say that and they have a direct answer for you. I'm not one of those people. Number 7, what job would you be terrible at? Medical field. I give a lot of props. My mom was a CNA for well over 30 years. It's not something I could do. I get very emotional. I cry very easily. I cried at the end of this book because there's a death. And, you know, that's a fictional character in a story. I could never, I don't know how people did it, especially during COVID. So many people were losing their lives, and then they couldn't even see their family members. I could not imagine that. I would be a mess every single day. That is not a job I could do. I give anyone in the medical field a lot of props because I couldn't do it. Number 8, what skill would I like to master? I would love to master editing on YouTube because I get very frustrated, and I do really want to put out good content for you guys. Other than that, maybe like painting or drawing. I do love to like color, but sometimes I wish I had more skill to where I can actually draw a picture or like paint a portrait. But that's not something I possess, so I usually just stick to coloring. But yeah, I would love to work better with YouTube editing and maybe like draw or paint. Number 5, what fictional place would you like to visit? Hogwarts, duh. If you guys watch this channel, you know this is like leaking down my chest, but I guess that's good. Nice serum on my chest. We'll talk about the mask I use in a minute. But definitely am a huge Harry Potter fan. There was even a Harry Potter club at my college. We all attended the Yule Ball. I loved it. So 100,000% I would visit Hogwarts. Which one was that one? That was number 9. Number 10. What could be the most amazing adventure you could go on? Hogwarts again. Like, I mean, 100%. But I guess if I had to choose like a legit place, I would love to do Universal again. Why? For the Harry Potter world. I know that's within my reach. That's nothing crazy. I'm trying to think if there's anything I could really amazing. I would love to go to Greece. I have been many places in my life. I'm kind of blessed. If you guys know, I'm first generation born in the U.S. My parents were born in Portugal. So I've been to Portugal. I still have grandparents out there in Portugal. A lot of family members on my dad's side. I've been to Canada because my parents have family in Canada as well. And I did a trip my senior year. They called it the Europe trip. And I did Paris, Rome, and I was going to say France. Paris was France. I did like... London is what I was trying to say. I did Paris, London, and Rome, and it was absolutely amazing. I would love to add Greece onto that list. But yeah, honestly, for a more short-term goal, I would love to go to Universal one day. Number 11, what's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you? I know this is going to sound corny, but Joe has been absolutely amazing. He came at a really low point in my life. I was really depressed, and then I didn't drive. I had my college degree. I was at a job cashiering that I loved. You guys know I talk about that from time to time. It was a family business that I loved, but I worked every single weekend. I was making close to minimum wage. There wasn't any benefits. There was no growth there because the owner's kids were the managers. For 8 years I was just a cashier, and I was dying to do something different, but because I didn't drive, that really held me back, and I was like in this hole that I couldn't dig myself out of, and I was like super duper depressed. And I was literally the day before I met Joe's mom, which is a whole nother story on how I met Joe. I did it as a Mask Monday. If I remember, I shared down below. I was crying to God, asking God for a sign that things were going to change. And the next day, I met Joe's mom at my store, and she told me that her son was interested in me. And I am so lucky because he's such an incredible man. I am seriously so blessed. He was so patient with me, taught me how to drive, pushed me to get my license, and really just changed my life. I am so incredibly blessed to have him as a partner. We just celebrated 5 years. I know he's my person. And yeah, so that is the luckiest thing that has ever happened to me. It's Joe. Number 12, what's the most annoying habit that other people have? I hate being talked over, like being interrupted. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like, just let me finish my thought, or at least say excuse me. Like, seriously. And I also hate bad drivers. Not that I'm like the best driver. I don't have that much experience, only 3 years. But, I follow the rules of the road. I stop at red lights. I stop at stop signs. I slow down when the light is yellow. I don't touch my phone. And there's a lot of people that don't do those things. I was stopping at a yellow light the other day, and I almost got hit because the guy thought I was going to pass the yellow light. And he literally had to swerve last minute and went under the red light. And I see people on their phones all the time. Like, it's just so dangerous. I don't know how people do that. Driving requires so much attention and multitasking. The last thing you should be doing is touching your phone. I know there's emergencies. Sometimes I get calls, and I have a Bluetooth transmitter in my phone, so I'll literally just hit a button and I can talk, but I don't have to touch my phone. So that is definitely two of my biggest pet peeves: being talked over or interrupted, and bad drivers. Just be careful, because you could literally end someone's life. It's crazy. Number 13, most impressive thing I know how to do. Speak Portuguese? I don't know, that's not that impressive, but I don't feel like I have a lot of skills. I wish I knew more in my 30 years of life. I think I'm a good cook when I'm in the mood. I'm just not usually in the mood, and that's the problem there. But I think it's really cool to know multiple languages. Joe's mom knows 3. I think that's absolutely amazing because she knows Spanish, Portuguese, and English. But yeah, I like that I'm able to communicate with different people. I know a little bit of sign because of work too, which is really nice. I'm just like a really compassionate person, so I guess that's impressive because that's not, you know, there's not a lot of people out there that are compassionate anymore, sadly. Number 14, the best book series you have ever read. Okay, so I haven't read number 3, but guys, this is number 2. The first one is Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I didn't even plan this. I forgot that was a question. This is Good Girl, Bad Blood. So I don't know if I can say it's the most impressive series because I've heard 3 is not the greatest. But oh my god, this was incredible. I literally, before I started, I finished this book right before I started the camera. I cried my eyes out. The first one has so many twists and turns. You don't even see the killer coming. This one is absolutely incredible as well. Like I was like, oh, the first one's always good and the second, no. This one is just as good. Such a page turner. Absolutely amazing. So I hope I'm not disappointed by the third. I don't know. We'll see. I will judge it for myself. I am going to read it, even though my friend said to skip it. But yes, this is one of the most incredible murder mysteries. I also really loved growing up the Uglies series. It was like Uglies, Pretties, Others. I forgot the names of the book. There was like 4 of them. What's in specials. It was a sci-fi dystopia world, and I was really into sci-fi back in the day. I had thought about maybe rereading it as an adult. Like, would I still enjoy it? I don't know, but I can say teenager Taylor loved the Ugly series, and I also really enjoyed Flowers in the Attic. That may sound familiar to you guys because it was actually a movie. They only made 1 movie out of that 1 book, but it's actually a series. I want to say there's like 4 or 5. There's actually quite a few of them. I bought them all used on Amazon many years ago. They're probably in a box in my parents' basement somewhere. But I absolutely loved it. That had a huge twist that you didn't see coming too. There was even a prequel. It was such an amazing series. Basically, it's these kids that are locked up in an attic, and there's a whole crazy storyline that goes with it. So definitely consider Flowers in the Attic, the Ugly series if you like sci-fi, and Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Absolutely amazing, guys. Seriously. Let's see, what's the next one? What song do I have completely memorized? Again, I'm not a huge music person. I guess the songs that we sing at the kids for work, to be honest with you guys, which is all like nursery rhymes. And Macarena, you know, no, Macarena. No, I don't even have that memorized. I am not good with songs. I will know like the chorus, but I won't know the rest of the song. Maybe Stan, Eminem. I went through a really big Eminem phase back in the day, and that was one of my favorite songs for a long time. But I'm like, I struggle with starting it, and then once someone starts it for me, I can sing the rest. But it's like that first tune, I can't get it out. Number 16, what hobby would you like to get into if you had more time and money? I would really love to get into photography. I have been dying to buy like a professional camera. You guys know I film on my phone, because the camera would come in handy not only for photography but for video and making vlogs for you. It would be like more high resolution because it would be a newer camera, probably better audio as well too. But it's just, cameras are so expensive. I kept telling myself if I did hit 1,000 subscribers, maybe it'd be a treat to myself, but this was well over 2 years ago, and I'm not even at 500 subscribers, so I don't know. Maybe it's something I will treat myself to the future, but right now it's not something I have in the cards. And even just like editing programs are expensive too, not just the camera itself, but I would love to get into like photography and more videography because I have really been enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to hit 500 by my birthday, which is about 12 days away, and I'm only like 12 people short, so 1 person a day, it'll get me there. Shout out to Charmaine, who shouted me out yesterday and is doing a giveaway for people that subscribe to me. She is absolutely amazing. I actually thought of her when I read the question, the luckiest thing to have happened to you, but I was scared that I was going to sound corny too, saying Charmaine. But honestly, I am so blessed to have met her. She's just such a truly amazing person. I don't have a lot of friends in my life. That is something I struggle with. I struggle with making connections. Sometimes I wonder if that's why my channel lacks a little, because maybe you guys aren't connecting to me. But I have definitely connected with Charmaine. I wish she was closer. I would love to hang out with her. But yeah, I'm blessed to have met her too. Let's get back to where I was. So yeah, it was what hobby. Number 17, go-to band or artist when you can't decide what to listen to. You guys know I'm not a huge music person. I'll just hit a Spotify playlist. I like top 40, you know, like literally the people you hear on the radio. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Katy Perry, Billie Eilish, Adele, you know, the usual, like nothing like crazy or different because I'm not a huge music person. So, although, okay, I will say this is different for most people. I think because my mom loves her and I grew up listening to her and my mom made me obsessed with her. Cher. I absolutely love Cher. She's usually my go-to for karaoke songs. You know what? That's probably a song I know every word to. I love, like, Dark Lady is one of my absolute favorites, and Half Breed is one of my absolute favorites. So those are probably songs I know every word to. And that is definitely probably the artist I would decide to listen to, other than like top 40. Number 18, what irrational fear do you have? I have a fear of heights. I don't know if that's irrational though. You know, that makes sense. People fall to their death. You know, so some roller coaster rides can really freak me out. I won't do all of them, especially ones with sudden drops. No, thank you. Skip those at Canopy Lake. I skipped those at Disney. Hollywood Tower of Terror. Hell to the no. You couldn't pay me to get on that ride. I think it comes from my dad. I don't know if that's a genetic thing, but my dad is super scared of heights. My dad is scared of nothing. Like, he will literally have a snake wrapped around his throat. Like, he's literally, like, one of the most fearless men I've ever met. But heights freak him out. I remember once he had to get on a cherry picker, I think that's what they called those, to get up high at work when we used to both work at the grocery store, because he had to get something in the stock room on a really high shelf, and he was so freaked out. My dad doesn't know how to swim, and he'll jump in the ocean. Like, that's how fearless he is. But heights freak him out. I would say my most irrational fear, I hate bees. Again, I don't know if that's totally irrational. Well, I guess it is. Because what's the worst they're going to do? Sting you? But I've never been stung before. So I always feared that I might be allergic and I could, like, die or, like, really get into a bad medical situation. Because I do have allergies and you don't really know if you're allergic until you're stung. And Joe is allergic to bees. So I get deathly afraid when they're around us because I don't want him to get hurt. My weirdest one, I wasn't sure if I was going to say this on camera. But you know what? Let's be honest here. I'll tell you guys. I'm scared of rings. I have a friend who was scared of balloons, and I used to, not make fun of her, but I used to be like, really, balloons? It's the popping sound that scared her. You know, we all got our things. So when my brother was like a toddler, so Portuguese people love, like, gold jewelry. They gift gold jewelry to babies. Like, we all had, like, a bracelet growing up. I don't know if this is just a Portuguese thing. We do get our ESPS, which I know some people are really against now with babies, but we usually get our ESPS at birth. So I always had, like, little gold earrings and a little gold bracelet on as a child. You know, never, like, necklaces, but bracelets and earrings, yes. And we did have little gold rings that we would wear. And my brother had a little gold ring, and he was growing. He was a growing boy, and my mom is not someone who ever takes off her jewelry. She wears her jewelry at all times, in the shower, in the pool, at bed, while she sleeps. I don't know how she does it. I am jewelry free. I love jewelry, but only when I'm out. When I'm home, that stuff comes off. Like, I could not. But I think she would probably, out of habit, because she didn't take jewelry off herself, she wouldn't really take jewelry off my brother. You know, like, you wear your wedding ring all the time. And my brother had a gold ring on, but he was growing and the ring was staying on his finger. So he basically outgrew this ring. My mom finally noticed that his finger was getting like a little swollen, and it was like, it didn't seem like the blood was circulating. I don't remember the whole story. I was really young. I could totally be getting this wrong. But I think his finger was getting like discolored. And then my mom realized it was because the ring was like stopping his circulation. And I just have a memory, I remember, of my brother over the bathroom sink, and they literally had to get pliers and shove it under the ring to get this ring cut off my brother. And I remember just seeing blood everywhere. And it wasn't really that much blood. I mean, they cut his finger a little bit, but they had the water running to try to see if they could get the ring to slip off of him. And the water running with the blood mix, it really got to me. So as soon as I will wear rings, there was many, many years where I will not wear a ring. I'm getting better. I will wear rings. I love rings, but I always try to do a half size up, so to make sure they're a little loose. I would rather them be loose. That's probably why I don't wear expensive jewelry either, because sometimes my rings do fly off of me. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm engaged or married. I have thought about maybe putting them on a necklace, but as soon as a ring feels tight on me, I can't breathe. I'm like super anxious. I'm like, oh my god, this ring's not coming off me. And Joe has seen that reaction from me, and that is why it's that memory of when I was a child. So that is probably one of my most irrational fears. When I tell people that, they're like, you're scared of rings? But it's the truth. 19, what's the best compliment to receive? I don't care about like outwardly appearances, but I do love when people tell me that I'm confident. Because I don't let my body hold me back. I will wear the shorts. I will wear the crop top. You know, life is way too short for that. I love myself as I am right now. Do I feel like I could make improvements? Yes. I mean, we all feel that way. But at the end of the day, I love myself in any stage my body is in. So I love when people say, you are so confident. How do you do that? That is a really big compliment. I also love when I get how driven I am. As I was going through college, it was a struggle, but, people were like, wow, you're so driven. That's amazing. And I also love, just like being told how smart I am. It makes me feel better because sometimes I don't feel like I'm that smart because I really struggled with school. But at the end of the day, I am pretty smart. I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I do think I'm pretty smart. I speak 2 languages, I enjoy reading. Not that that doesn't makes anybody smart, I guess, but I don't know. I just, whatever. I like knowing that people see me as an intelligent person, I guess. Last but not least, number 20. If you could change your first name, what would you change it to? I honestly don't know. I don't mind Taylor. No offense to the people out there in the world, but I'm just glad I don't have a name like Vanessa or Brittany or even like my brother Brandon or Joe, like my boyfriend, or John. I hate super common names. Taylor isn't uncommon, but it's not super duper common either. Charmaine, I don't blame her for not wanting to change her name. Her name is super unique. I know if my mom, if I was a boy, she was gonna name me Tyler. My mom named me after Taylor Dane in the 90s, if you guys know who Taylor Dane is. But I don't know, maybe if I had to change it, I don't know if I would, but if I had to change it, maybe to just something more unique. Nothing comes off the top of my head right now, but I've always loved really unique names like that. But anyway, that was the 20 questions that Charmaine and Erica did for last week's Mask Monday. Like I said, I will tag them down below. Watch their videos, hear their answers. And the mask I am wearing today, I was just talking to my friend Tea Time Adventures, and she did an empties video.